Hey, this is Matt once again with about 10 videos. There's another top 10 list for Bronson. He requested a decent amount of them, but paid generously, so thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this time he wanted to know my top 10 favorite Jim Carrey films. So I guess number one, I would say Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. That's the one I watched the most growing up. Can always laugh my ass off watching that film to this day. From the beginning of purposely messing with the package to assholes are closer than they appear. To the, I know it's on PC to laugh about this, but the whole crying game thing I did laugh at. And his reaction to it. Feet was Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. The whole weird plot where it's this kicker that missed it, laces out, so he's obsessed and wanting to murder Dan Marino, and how that's incorporated with the pet detective angle, showing how Ace is a good detective, but at the same time, Jim Carrey is all firing as many cylinders as he can to try and impress people and go, hey, this is what I can do. Let me show you. And you feel that fire, that energy, and that want of hungry. He was hungry to be famous, hungry to be seen and noticed and make people laugh. I think a lot of people, like once they've had a couple successes, they lose a bit of that hunger. But you just see that zest in Jim Carrey's performance in this. I always forget that Courtney Cox is in this. And this was a few years before Scream, which took her movie career off to a little bit higher pasture. Not too much, because now they about other than Scream and this, she didn't do a whole lot of movies, but she did some. So yeah, I love Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Number two, I put Dumb and Dumber. No, I'm not a fan of the whole toilet scene. I just fast forward that part with Jeff Daniels. But other than that, what made me laugh is Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, the way they worked with each other, and how the verbiage and just how the simple things of them being stupid about, they play off so sincere. I always think of the bit where Jim Carrey's in the bar and he looks at the newspaper and that we landed on the moon. What? Man, we landed on the moon. Just all the little details, just how they're being stupid. Like, for example, when they come home and we know that their pet bird had gotten its head cut off. But their interpretation is the fucking head fell off. Yeah, he was pretty old. And the fact is, they're not really mudding. Like Dumb and Dumber 2, they're really mudding that. And really more and more so trying to push the crude humor. What's really the case here? They just seem so sincerely stupid, but that they meant well. And that's what made them a bit more charming than they were in, say, the sequel. The first one is like, they think they're smarter than they are, but they're, again, kind of sincere, and they... I don't know. For the most part, they don't really want to hurt anyone. It's like the one guy who they played a prank on him, even though, unbeknownst to them, this guy wanted to kill them. It was just a goof, and they're trying to rescue him from after they fed him all the hot shit that they were. They fed him the hot stuff, and he got I'm trying to remember that actor's name. Mike Starr, I believe that's the actor's name. Forgive me if I'm wrong about that. He's been in quite a few other stuff. I think he was in Mad Dog and Glory with Bill Murray. He's been a few quite a few other movies. Oh, Steven Seagal beat the shit out of him at the beginning of On Deadly Ground when they did the slap game. But yeah, Dumb and Dumber I always thought was fun. Number 3, I put The Truman Show. I really liked the story of the film. I thought it was done much better here than Ed TV with Matthew McConaughey. Does this one just seem a bit more... You really felt more for Truman? It's very ahead of its time now because so many people purposely... You pretty much can view him 24/7. So it's definitely ahead of its time, and who would watch this stuff? Well, I mean, for some reason people watch this video or watch other people's videos on YouTube, so there you go. Again, sorry about that, folks. Sorry about the throat. But yeah, very endearing character that you really felt for. You wanted him to succeed. Also, just very well directed by Peter Weir. The way he utilized music. I always think of the music used when Truman is missing and Ed Harris decides to get the sun up and everybody's like trying to look for Truman in these search parties, and the way the music is, I don't want to say whimsical, but kind of this friendly but adventurous, as even we are wondering like they are where Truman is and what happened and what's going on. Just a very nice, endearing story, and Jim Carrey was able to utilize humor, but also some good drama. And it was a nice, really nice mix between the two. So definitely The Truman Show is in there, number 3. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls would be number 4. I think it's a very fun, worthy sequel. There's still things that I still laugh at. You must be the Monopoly guy. Although he's not true. Although he's not right, because he doesn't have a monocle. But it's still a very funny joke. I'm trying to think of some of the other... God, it's been a while since I've seen that film. There's a bit where he's having a fight. Throw me a spear, it gets him one leg. Okay, give me another spear, and then it gets him the other leg. It didn't have as much of the charm. It didn't have as much of the charm as the first one, because I liked Ace being in the city and him having to work with these cops who don't believe in him, and how this pet detective worked. Just the whole environment, everything was just much more my cup of tea. And not all the jokes worked. I mean, it was trying to push a little bit more into, okay, he's in a fake rhino, but the way he's coming out, it makes it seem as if the thing's giving birth to him, and there's a family watching him. I thought that scene kind of went on a bit too long, certain stuff like that. But on the flip side, you have a very funny opening to that parody's cliffhanger. I mean, that alone has got to put it on the list. Well, if you were me and I were you, I'd use your body to get to the top. You never stop me. So, number 5 is a cheat because it's 2 movies. But I put Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. I do enjoy those films. And I think Jim Carrey has energy that we haven't seen him in a long time showcase. You tell you had a lot of fun playing this character. And I think they're fun popcorn movies. I like the Sonic character. Didn't mind Tails and Knuckles in the sequel. Could do without the humans because they're the worst parts of both of those films. Other than Jim Carrey, but I mean the other humans, like... And you really saw that showcase in the whole wedding subplot in part two. That most of that shit should have just been cut out on the editing, left on the editing floor, on the cutting room floor, I should say. But I still enjoy those films. Number 6, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I saw that in the theater. Was very mesmerized by the story and how creative it was. Where it's you decide you want your memories of this person erased, but in the middle of it he wants them stopped. So it's him on this journey to try to stop these memories, but also we're showcasing how this love story seemed to work at first, but at the same time it crumbled. But is there a possibility of a second chance and learning from past mistakes? And just, again, showing more of that Jim Carrey can do more than just comedy. And it's a very unique visual moments. Like when Jim Carrey, but then he's a kid and everything else is oversized. Or how the world is dissipating around them and how that's showcased visually. Very solid film. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Number 7, I put Liar Liar. Fun movie. I'm kicking my own ass, do you mind? The goddamn pen is blue. Not everything works. If I gotta be honest, I don't really give a shit about his son in the movie. His son is a bit of a whiny bitch. I mean, I know this being me, but there's a part of me that's like, it seems like being a whiny bitch. But, like, the whole bit with his son, honestly, the stuff that was more entertaining was him in the courtroom. He can't lie, but he has to try to win this case. That was a lot more fun to me than the family melodrama. But I know that's an important part of the movie, but can't say it was the most satisfying part of the movie for me. Because I remember even when I first saw it, I went, can we get back to the courtroom? But I still, Jim Carrey did a great job, and that was kind of his rebound after the cable guy didn't do well. Although I don't mind the cable guy, I like the film, but a lot of people didn't. So this was sort of his rebound after that. Because that was 96 and Liar Liar was 97. It was a big size hit. Number 8, I put Me, Myself, and Irene. It's another Farrelly Brothers movie. It was kind of cool to see Jim Carrey play the nice guy, but also this very demented guy, and how his personalities change. It was fun to see Jim Carrey play that type of role, and it being R-rated, so say certain lines that he wouldn't normally say. That was part of the fun of that film. Also nice to see people like Robert Forster and others in there. I didn't mind his 3 sons. I think one of them is Anthony Anderson, I believe. And they were fun characters. Number 9, Bruce Almighty. It was kind of, the fun bit of that is him working with Morgan Freeman, as well as him showing his godlike abilities. Again, his relationship drama stuff wasn't really the most exciting to me. But yeah, I know why that's part of the story. But yeah, still a fun film. I remember seeing that in the theater back in 2003. I believe is when it came out. Had a good time in the theater. And number 10, I put The Mask. Now, I like The Mask, but more so for the special effects and the creativity, and less so for the comedy. Because I wouldn't say I laughed a lot in The Mask. I didn't really laugh a lot at the comedy in the film. It is more of, oh wow, that's some cool visuals, that's some good creativity. And Jim Carrey's not bad. I actually liked him more as the regular guy, acting wise. Maybe because as the Mask, people just kept mimicking that shit, smoking, and they just kept mimicking those lines over and over again. That I got tired of it. Somebody stop me. Like, they just endlessly would keep repeating that shit over and over again in school and other stuff. It's like, oh my god, man. So maybe that's not the movie's fault, but it's just, like I said, I like the special effects and the creativity. Jim Carrey's performance as the Mask, at times he would get on my nerves. Really hamming it up. Kind of like the Riddler in Batman Forever. But like I said, when he was Stanley, I actually liked him more in that role, acting-wise. But still a fun film. It's on the list. Just not one of my favorites. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.